pancakes, the better it is for me. It's cool.
Wait, here,
It's okay.
let me just slowly open this pineapple deliciousness here. It's...
Oh, you. All I've got is energy drinks and
That was my name.
Saskatchewan
Pineapple
champagne.
deliciousness.
Mm.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna say
yeah, why are
energy
you
drinks.
doing that to yourself?
What am I
Hey,
doing? What to myself?
That
What?
you just had it on screen.
You got to be more specific. You got to be. What are you
Your
upset
pill.
about? Yeah.
Your pill.
You don't like the pills? You don't like the pills
Oh,
here?
that.
Like I say, Saskatchewan champagne. I'll tell you, it tastes a lot better
Like
flat.
I say, that gag was actually legitimate.
I was
So
about to say when Paul fucking cut me off. Jesus Christ, it's gonna be that kind of night.
What were you saying?
That you were drinking energy drinks, and I was gonna say your shame. Sitting here with energy drinks and your shame. But then you pulled up a Pilsner, and I was right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's just liquefied pain in a can.
What has Pilsner done to you guys that you
Like
hated this much?
when I say pain, I mean emotional.
I feel like Pilsner's done something to you.
Yeah, it tasted like Pilsner.
Tastes
It's
just like
been-
every other cheap beer I've ever had. I don't know what to tell you.
It's been Pilsner
it's
its
so
whole
bitter.
life. It can't help itself. Anyway.
It is 7:17.
Yeah, no, we're live. Don't worry about it.
Are we really? Amazing.
Yeah. No, we've been live for
Good.
for a little bit now.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
Throwing up some sort of something. There
we're
we go.
live. We
Hey.
have people in chat. Hey, CPM, hey, Infinite.
All right. Yeah,
Pop
we're-
Tart Victoria. Oh, you're calling it the Pop Tart. I like that. More people need to have that kind of fun with their knives. No data. What the hell? You guys out there, let me know if there's something weird going on with the stream tonight, because I updated OBS and now YouTube is telling me no data, but my phone says that we're streaming okay.
I can see us.
everything looks normal on my end. Yeah.
That's super weird. Okay, I'm just gonna blame it on YouTube Studio and say that there's something up there, but okay.
I'm gonna blame it on the rain.
Oh,
Is it raining outside?
No.
It's like, oh
Amazing.
God, I hope not.
that song is too old for him, Dennis.
Paul, dear Lord, Paul.
Yeah, we
What
can
have
blame
we
it on the
done?
rain, but Joe
Oh.
cannot.
Joe doesn't get the reference, so he is
No.
not allowed to blame it on the rain. Go find something else to blame it on, you son of a
Alright.
bitch.
I guess I'm blaming it on my Pilsner. What's everybody else carrying today?
Should.
Cheers to the boys in chat. Ben, Black Forest.
Black Forest?
Yeah, like he's a cake. It's his birthday. He's allowed.
Calling him a cake.
It was
is,
recent, anyways.
Black Frost needs to get a shirt just because he is an arborist now and chops down trees for a living. I saw one the other day that said I'm a lumberjack, run forest run.
That's lame.
All right.
Love it.
And it made me laugh. So, just saying. Be fantastic. Who's carrying what? Anything fun and fancy we want to say for last? Me?
Probably a little bit. In
I
fact,
got
I could
nothing.
probably go first because my carry hasn't changed.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's an Arrakis.
Nope. It's not an Arrakis.
What is it, Paul? What is it?
It's a 671 TZ.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Sans your own blood.
Yeah, I'm not bleeding this time, so that's neat.
You know, fingers crossed. That you're good for
Night's still young.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put that over there.
now. Bite me once, shame on me. Bite me twice in a row. Well, it's Paul's
All
fault.
right. Good times.
I've got nothing particularly fancy, so I'll go next, I guess. I've been carrying my Nerk tie a lot lately, so figured I may as well show it off a little bit. I think this is an underrated design. I think it's cool as hell. I wish they came with a better blade steel. It's yours, okay, but I still like the design.
Hey, that table looks familiar.
Yeah, I couldn't help it. Bit of a throwback. So
And
Holy shit. Amazing. No, I had heard you guys talking about exchanging furniture, but I never even thought about the fact that it was going to be this table. That's cool.
and the one that we started the channel on.
That's
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
for
100%.
sure. It no longer has room to occupy space in my new home. So Joe passed along, and now another member of the Pokey Factor now has that backdrop. So
So this is
absolutely
Joe's
hilarious.
backdrop from now on.
probably
Oh,
he's
probably.
a lazy asshole.
I'm into
Yeah. I might start taking photos in the morning or even on different days just to get better lighting. Because by the time I came home today, it was kind of somber.
Drag the coffee table around to the right part of the house.
Yeah, try to get a little bit better lighting, but yeah,
It's got to hat out the window.
yeah.
Good times. Yeah, I guess that leaves me.
Yeah. So what are you rocking today?
I was running around all weekend celebrating my fiance's birthday. So I was carrying the knife that she gave me for Christmas. It was a Hesterman custom. So
Very nice.
Very nice.
yeah,
Very nice.
yeah, one of those. Yeah, for sure. So treated me pretty good. Had Spalumbo sausage, not too badly. Yeah, so
I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Took a little trip to the jungle.
a little trip. Yeah, we bought some plants for her
Very nice.
birthday and went to the garden center and repotted some stuff. And yeah, so
I would ask what kind of plants, but I don't know shit about plants. So any answer you give me, I'll just all right.
The green kind.
Yeah.
that thing looks weird and cool. I think I can keep it alive. Those are my 3 requirements.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right.
I've always liked cacti for that reason. Just because they come in so many different varieties, and you really don't have to try that hard to keep them around. It's great.
That is absolutely fair.
Till your pet comes up and taps it and then screams. And
Just don't overwater them. It doesn't end well.
yeah, I believe it.
And I'm not sure, Ben, honestly. I'm not sure if this one is a rubber plant or not. This one came before my time.
Okay.
So I'm now reviving it and taking care of it. And it's doing okay. But
Very cool. I have a feeling soon enough we'll all be carrying fixed plates for ETCs more frequently.
Because we'll be
Oh,
out
yeah.
in the
Well,
woods.
it's come up a couple times in the last couple episodes. We've talked about pocket fixed blades in particular, but also some fancier stuff.
I see.
it really gets in the way of my pocket glitter. You don't want to get it all gritty.
Is that like pocket sand? But
It
So-
finds you in your sheets.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
You see those scratches on that blue knife that I got from Nigel. That's
Yeah.
wasn't the Kydex.
It's all pocket glitter.
The convenient distractions as you unsheath your knife.
That actually makes a lot of sense because my cold steel sheets do the same thing. And I feel like they would absolutely implement some kind of tactical glitter in their lineup.
well,
It looks like you're like some sort of video game Mario as you're like streaking silver
Yeah.
as you draw your knife out. Yeah. See?
Exactly. It's a distraction.
the Secure X is fucking brutal on the surface finish on cold steels. It's not great. Retention's okay on this one at least, but yeah. Anyway,
Indeed.
so what are we talking about tonight, guys?
Cactioli? I don't think that's right. It's cacti. It's cacti.
Pretty sure it's cacti.
Cactolini.
Cactioli.
Don't like that either, surprisingly enough.
Of course, the Italian guy would try to turn it into a noodle and eat it. Like
Yeah.
it's
When in doubt, noodle it.
put some sauce on that. It's fine. It's cactolini.
Oh,
I may or may not have had tortellini for the last couple nights for dinner, so
Yeah.
they're on my mind. Right?
so how much of that bag have you gotten through so far?
Which one? The one that you know about, or the second one I bought?
Well, okay, I guess I know about two of them
my
now.
hidden stash of tortellini.
Almost done this next one.
Oh shit! All right,
All right, gentlemen. All
work
right.
fast, sir.
Hey, man.
We're gonna even start the 15 minutes of preamble early. We're on to actually talking about CRKTs. I'm cutting people off 4 minutes short. That's
That's okay.
how efficient we are.
Now,
To be fair, we were talking about tortellinis. We needed to be cut off.
that's could have been for a while. I could have gone into how penne is probably my favorite, and then we
God
went
damn it!
yours.
No, shut!
but-
No.
Well, anyway, everybody can see the title. We got two knives. Speaking of efficiency, that we're going to be talking about today. Is there an order of operations we want to stick with here, or we want to talk about the knife that's just a revamp of an old design first? Yeah, trick question. That's
I was
both
gonna
of these
say
knives. But CRKT has only made an original version of one of these before, to my knowledge. I don't think CRKT's done an older version of the Jake before. I think that one was only ever a custom.
No,
I think they
Kershaw
went
did
for
that
it
one. It was
before
called the
they
Blur. It was.
we'll get there.
No, we're there. No, it's nice. I like it. I like the Blur. I got a Blur somewhere. I didn't even think about it for this episode.
I'm surprised none of us thought to take a comparison photo of the two together. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been clever.
I have my
one.
gray Blur somewhere around here. Dennis might be looking for his, but
That's what I mean. We all have one of those.
is yours within reach, Paul? Because
Look at that. There it is.
Yeah, probably one of the better versions they've made. And I say one of because I know there's a carbon fiber purple and 154 CM variant floating around out there that I.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Carbon fiber and purple. What are you talking about now?
Oh, the Blur. There's a version of the Blur out there that has carbon fiber inlays instead of the grip tech, and it's 154 CM for the blade.
There's a pure carbon fiber handled one. Is there one that's a purple aluminum with carbon fiber as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I've only ever seen photos of it. This was like that. That's just one of the first knives I saw in somebody's collection photo, like collage on blade forms, and like, oh, I want that. And he told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah.
It was a great first interaction to the site. It was fantastic. Also, I don't carry it often enough, but I do like the Blur.
Yeah, I had to have one in the collection.
Yeah,
They're just good.
And they're open and honest about the fact that their M4 is slightly softer than Benchmade's or other people on the market. So,
yeah,
that's cool.
They're
upfront about it.
Yeah, that's honestly, at least they're saying it.
Yeah, and I mean, is 6061? Is it 6061 or 6162?
61, 62, maybe 60, 62. I don't know. Anyway,
And then
not
Benchmade's like 64?
64 to
Benchmade-
66 or something. 64, yeah.
Okay.
Jesus, 60. I thought it was 62 to 64. But if it's 64 to 66, that's insane.
I might have my head out my ass, but
No, you could absolutely be right. I haven't looked at Benchmade's M4 specs since the last time we talked about this. In the meantime, may as well bring up a picture of the two knives we're talking about. Dennis took a nice picture that ended up as the thumbnail. So, bam.
Nice little comparison shot.
Oh, wait. The bam was useless. There. Bam. There's the photo. Yeah.
Nah. Oh, hey,
There
look.
we go. Yeah,
No, I'm wrong. 62 to 64. My bad.
Fair enough. Because I know Spyderco and Kershaw surprisingly have a really close hardness. At least for my samples of the M4 that I've tested. I expected Spyderco to push theirs a little bit closer to Benchmade's, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're kind of known for that usually, is kind of getting into that good heat treat, so.
Yeah.
And I will say again with the hand size on the Tuna Compact as well as the Overland Compact, Dragonfly is actually very similar. I think the Dragonfly actually does beat out Overland Compact in a hand-to-hand ratio because of the finger choil and the chokey up factor. You have a little bit of a chokey up factor on the Overland Compact, but not as much as the Dragonfly, obviously. So Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the back taper also helps kind of take away a little bit of the handle for you. It gives you a place to rest your pinky, but you don't get like the support that you would by grabbing a more perpendicular surface.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Those words make sense in that order. Yes, absolutely.
Right?
So yeah, you can see Pinky's hanging off, looking for somewhere to go in a large, skinny-fingered mitt. So,
by comparison, I'll bring up the Jake as well. That is definitely more of a full-size knife. I really wish we had thought about getting a size comparison between, because it's not that dissimilar. Actually, that's Dennis's hand in the photo, so this is probably the best size comparison we have there.
Yeah.
So
Really
it's basically a blur. A little bit thicker, a little bit more thick than the blur. Across the handle that way.
A little bit more of the thick. The thick.
Extra thick. Well, not really that crazy thick, but it is thicker.
Comes from a long line of thicks.
Nah, see the Jacques, Shock, the XOCC, whatever the hell that thing was spelt, the huge, massive, like, fuck off deadbolt locking.
I like Jacques.
The Jacques, yeah.
It's the French brother of the knife we're reviewing tonight.
Yeah. The Jacques, the Jake. So
yeah, I was gonna say
Jake,
the Jake.
The Jacques.
Yeah.
No, that's not right at all.
Do we want to compare these two knives all the way through, or do we want to?
Well, specs on this knife, because you got it on top of their head. It's a 3.3-inch blade, 7.9, so 8-inch overall. Weight is 3.8 ounces. Aluminum with G10 inlay. Did you get some close-ups of the checker?
I did, yes. I'm gonna toss those up right now, right as soon as I find my folder. There's the Jake. So
4 ounce, 3.3 on a 3.8. You know, that's your blade ratio to weight ratio.
I think I also got one here.
In weight?
Yeah, 3.3 on blade.
Okay.
Well, I think Shabazi was talking about an ounce per inch, something like that, once upon a time.
Yeah, it's a metric a lot of guys seem to go by now. And I think while there is some merit for it, I don't know that I necessarily care about it all the time.
There's some room for argument depending on whether you're carrying a rhino or not. So
yeah.
Then I'll argue it, right?
Yeah, the GT456 does exist.
Well, this is true, but I mean, even for knives that are like similarly sized, there is a significant weight difference between similar knives that I own in my own collection. It doesn't always matter. It just doesn't.
So you think this is machined or cast aluminum there, Joseph?
If this is cast, this is probably the best. And I hesitate to say cast, like die extrusion, whatever they're doing. If this is this is the cleanest job they've done so far. I haven't seen. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. You say your part, and I'll say mine.
I was just gonna say, obviously the G10 has to be machined. The way G10 is made, that's the only way that makes sense. The only way I would have a better idea is if I could see the underside of the inlays, but seeing as I don't own this knife, I'm not going to mess around with CRKT's T6 hardware to take a look for myself to see if there's any like milling marks on the underside.
Oh, come on. You just wait till you find one that's already loose.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Wait, no.
But it is an exceptionally clean job, whatever they're doing as far as the manufacture.
The thing that I was going to add to that is this knife is not exactly cheap, and it being CNC'd out might explain that to a certain degree.
To a degree. Generally, seeing that kind of detailing, like this, you have that diamond texture in the aluminum itself.
Yeah.
Getting the tools to go in there that cleanly. I'm not saying CRKT wouldn't or couldn't do it, but I hope they did because of the price point, yes. Which maybe we should just say is a little high.
Yeah. Would you say that the pocket where the G10 went would have to be CNC'd to get that square corner? You would know better than I would. That's why I'm
mean, I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to the aluminum extrusion process that they've used in the past. because there's always been some kind of gapping that you've been able to see. Like with the Bonafides, for instance, you could see gapping around the interior liners, but there's like next to
The
nothing here.
Christmas of the diamonds even kind of tells me that it's not, because they're whatever they're doing otherwise is always a little bit more rounded off, a little bit more.
Yeah, and I don't. Oh man, that would have been nice to actually have for a reference point for this texture because they've used it before on the Jeff Park designed crossbones. In particular, the Oz 8 version, which had the aluminum handles. It would have been good to see that up close.
Yeah.
I only know where my M390 version is. I don't know where the Oz 8 one is. So
Uh,
that being said, they could have extruded the aluminum and then done the cuts afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's also a possibility. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
Linus, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, with that checkering in mind, regardless of like how the actual finish work is done, they did a pretty banging job on this thing.
Yeah.
Both on the G10 as well. I want to see this texture on G10 more often. Like,
Mm-hmm. It's super grippy. Like,
you could start to do very thin inlays on this and change a knife, like even the Dextro that we reviewed last week. In that one little strip that they had, if they had done this checkered G10 on either and just thump on either side of that type of thing with this checkering, that would have changed that knife completely. Type of idea, right? So yeah.
You could do inlays that would like fall under your thumb on your knife, but be nowhere near the pocket clip on the back end, so you wouldn't have any issues. Just
well,
grip when you wanted it and needed it.
while we're talking about that, one distinction between this Ken Onion design, where the pocket clip actually falls onto, I don't know, the lighting is kind of crappy in here right now. Anyway, there's a pad of aluminum under here that the clip rides on. You'll just have to take my word on it. But I mean, the blur is easy enough to see.
You can see it right at the tip.
Yeah, on
It's
this knife, it's a little blurry, but you know. Sorry. On this picture here, you can see. Yeah, so you can see how crisp the texturing is on this. There's no landing pad for the pocket clip, which kind of sucks because this knife only allows the clip in the right hand tip up carry position anyway. So the argument against aesthetics, they should have left a little pad there, which theoretically should have been less machining time anyway. Fewer lines you would have had to have done underneath the pad, but I chalk that up to being a slight oversight. Maybe it's a design choice to say, hey, this will actually grip to your pocket and be less likely to fall out. Because Smooth G10 really doesn't offer a lot of resistance for pocket clips anyway.
Well, and just as a mild backstory there, because it was named the Jake, it was for a buddy of Ken Onion's longtime fan, customer, blah blah blah. He lived in Georgia, but he's a cop. So
okay,
Yeah.
good old Jake Bush. That's right.
I love the Jake Bush.
He might want something that's pretty secure on the pocket, being
Okay.
that you're designing this for an
100%.
officer of the law. So
in that
You
case,
want it
yeah,
where you
we will
want it.
absolutely chalk that up into as a design choice rather than an oversight. Then knowing who it was designed for. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, my comment earlier about putting it like under your thumb pad or something like that wasn't even a response to them not doing that on this knife. It kind of clicked in my brain and I was like, that would be so easy to add just
As far as inlay work,
pockets of texture to something.
yeah, it just takes a little bit of time and patience on a mill. That's all.
Yeah.
in diddly.
I think it's a pretty slick looking knife, though. I like that they're following the trends of having the blade follow the handles when it's closed. So like you have like that nice like follows the silhouette of the design. I think that's a nice touch.
Agreed.
Chamfering is done fairly well for such a flat knife with such aggressive chamfering. It actually is quite comfortable to hold in the hand. That was the other thing too. At least for me, I found it to be that way.
Absolutely.
I would agree with that.
That classic blur handle definitely is comfortable in that just like single finger swell. We've talked about it ad nauseum.
This
doesn't
really
have
not
a
that far
separate
off.
finger swell so much as it's just kind of in line with it, but they do the same thing.
It's basically the Ken Onion handle, which is like
Yeah,
stretched and morphed and turned slightly depending on what design he's doing. I know he
and
does other stuff too, but it's a very distinctive handle design.
when you figured it out, you don't change what you figured out.
Yeah, that's fair.
She comfy.
Yeah, she comfy. This isn't as aggressive of a finish either, but it also has kind of a hand rubbed finish. Not super dissimilar from Dennis's Thug. Yeah. Um, 12C Sandvik, I'm not sure if the slightly less wear resistant blade steel is going to take this kind of finish easier than something like 20CV. I'm not entirely sure how they apply it, to be perfectly honest.
I just want you to know, Dennis, I didn't steal that fact from you.
What, the brush finish?
Yeah, Dennis told me about this when we were in the shop, and was like, "Oh shit, you're gonna steal that from me." And
It wasn't him this time. Well, I wanted to lead into asking Dennis because he owns the Thug, obviously. How does it compare?
It's not as deep of a brushed finish on the CRKT. I find it's deeper on the Thug. But I will say as well, the only time I really got scratching and scarring on the brushed finish is on the handle. The blade itself has been fine. So the choice to only do the blade is not a bad move on this one. Not saying that you should buy any other version of Thug than the one that I own, because that's still the best version of Thug there.
yeah, but
Yeah.
the Civivi Thug shoot pretty good too.
You're talking liner locks with micarta and Nitro V. You can maybe sway me a little bit. But anyway, yeah, the fact that they don't mention the brushed finish on their website is, I think, a pretty big oversight. There's very
really
no, and there's very few videos out right now on the CRKT Jake, and no one really talks about the finish on the blade. And I was like, that would be a noteworthy point if I was a marketing dude looking at knives and going, hey, that stands out a little bit. And hey, by the way, we're going to overcharge for this knife. So let's look at some bullet points on how we can justify it.
Yeah.
Because PS, not cheap.
Wow.
You could throw out both the CNC milling and hand rubbed finish.
The whole thing is why wouldn't you talk about that duality of like you got the machine work and the hand finishing just like the custom? Like, you could have led into that a little bit. That is
so we didn't talk as well. And a quick note of that, 113 American on their website is the price point for 1227 Sandvik is the steel choice, just to tie those two things together conveniently, as it were.
I do like. I like 14C. I like 12C. I've got a little fixed blade in 12C. It's fantastic, but it's a little bit overpriced at
I mean, some of us have paid $200+ for birch and 1227 on a Hele knife. So
Hele is
Mora.
Nice though. So
not a.
Speaking of Mora, did you see the latest stuff they announced? Oh, we should talk about that later.
Yeah, we can, because I have no idea, and that's cool. But this is a CRKT.
Oh yeah. No, the Sandvik thing reminded me, and the Mora thing reminded me. But it is a little weird. This is definitely a knife where I feel like you're paying for the machining, and less so the materials. I mean, like anodized and properly milled aluminum and G10 inlays that are very crisp, right? Like that's always a complaint about higher end models and inlays that aren't done just properly. You'll see like uneven gapping and it throws you right off. I didn't see that in the Jake.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't see any of that. They did really nice, clean, seamless lines. But you were talking about nice and crisp, which made me think of detents. So yeah.
Can I ask one quick question before we switch topics?
Yes.
Just talking about the price. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the steel choice of the blade compared to the fanciness of the handle.
Right.
What steel would you want at this price point to be like, yeah, that makes sense?
From CRKT?
Yes.
At 113?
I mean, D2 would be nice, but I think they were going for more a hard use kind of vibe, right? So something a bit more chip resistant. I don't know that 12C is necessarily a bad choice.
I don't know what's in their wheelhouse enough to make that call, because S35 would be twice the price. It would be not in this price point anymore. D2 would be, but I don't know if I'd want that any more than 12C, depending on the situation that you're getting.
Yeah.
Georgia is where, but although this production knife is not being marketed towards Jake, he's already got a custom.
Yeah, he's already got one. He's got a better one, I'm sure.
I'm glad that you guys fell into that same kind of mentality, because I was like, I don't know what else I'd want in that, because I don't.
Well, it's just what's in their wheelhouse. An M390 and S35 are in their wheelhouse, but they're going to charge way too much money. So where does that leave us, right? Like it's like SK5 is fixed blades and probably not suitable for this ball bearing flipper.
I wouldn't, dude, especially not with that finish. You would. Anyway, that would turn out real bad real quick.
So what's left in CRKT's wheelhouse?
They don't do any like N690 or anything like that, do they?
I was just going to say, I would actually suggest a return to Oz 10, because they've absolutely used Oz 10 in folders before. It's been a long time since they've released a model with it, but they've used to use it.
What about 154?
They did.
Yeah, 154. They did a couple higher end runs, but
they did K110. Which is like a stainless bowler version of D2.
Is it kind of stainless?
Well, I don't know. Look at some shit. I don't know.
That was actually somewhat news to me. That K110 was basically this. It's just like powdered D2. It's like kind of like CPM D2. Is K110 powdered, or is it just ingot? Like just a really clean ingot?
I don't know. Do some homework on it. Jesus Christ, man. No, no, it's. You know, I'm actually kind of looking up K110, but that's not the point. That would be the only wall I was thinking of things that were they've used.
It is kind of stainless, but what was that other Canadian design that was using K110 that was a fixed blade that you've got? That Hunter?
The Unusual Hunter? Where is that son bitch? Yeah, back there.
Old Eggy.
That's a nice knife. I like that knife.
So it is 11 to 13%. So depending on how it's produced, the K110 can be stainless, being a 13%. Wow, that doesn't want to focus on shit, but that's get over it.
Okay, so if we were going to get a slightly less stainless version, I would suggest K110 is probably cool. 154 or Oz 10. I would take either personally over.
They've done 154. They can put 154 out at this price point. Get with Kaiser's trade. Yeah. Come on, you sons of bitches.
Well, and here's the thing. It doesn't even have to be CPM 154. Just regular old 154 CM. And okay, if this knife was in 154 CM, they would just have to fix the detent, and then I would buy one.
It could be the regular old hitchhiking on the side of the road 154. I don't need the good stuff. Like, seriously.
That was a great transition there, Joe. Back to...
I'm glad you noticed. Thank you.
I like that. That was good.
But... Yes,
true.
Like Dennis alluded to earlier, sloppy as shit detent. Both of the models we've played with have been weak.
Porridge.
Yeah.
Crispy. Wait, no, it's not porridge. It's right in CRKT's description. They don't even try to hide it. The action on this knife is buttery smooth.
Yeah, but like.
No, they've got butter in the barrel.
It's not melted butter. It's like butter at room temperature. It's just getting greasy and getting everywhere.
Congealed butter.
Yeah. See, I would almost say their Teflon action and their shallotl is smooth like butter. Like, it is smoother than Teflon has any right to be. This is the future that Bob Trezola envisioned for us all. But as far...
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What can I say? Like, he likes Teflon, all right? I don't think he's necessarily wrong about that. But
I think he's more invested in his patented clip than he is in that knife. But anyway,
at this point, yes. But yeah,
I need you to know, Joe. You just made me laugh so hard. I got lightheaded.
Yay! Great, gonna kill Paul on stream.
Yeah. He cut himself. He just didn't realize it. He's lightheaded for a completely different reason.
Blood loss.
I'm mostly healed.
That's good. Anyway, slicker than pig shit, and unfortunately, it kind of ruins the knife for me personally. Not just over, retention concerns, but it just feels kind of... What's the term I'm looking for? It's a bit of a letdown. It's like an
unenthusiastic hand job.
Yes, you expect it to pop, and then just kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's open, and you're like, oh well. That was less than I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, it's not like
I mean, it still opens. It's,
well,
Yeah,
granted,
gotta
granted,
give it a little
always
extra
still.
something to get there. I understand the analogy now. I gotcha. I'm with
There's
it.
no pop.
It's,
There's
yeah.
no pop, and it's not
You
like
really
CRKT.
gotta work for it for that thing to crack in place like it should.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah,
You really
well,
got to get your wrist into it.
well, if a good old wrist flick will get anything open, right? But I mean, come on.
Sometimes you can just use some gravity.
You know what? Sometimes it is about the journey, and in this case, I really wish it just. It's not like CRKT can't do a consistently good detent. They've been doing it with their pillars lately. They've been doing it with a lot of their flippers. The fact that this feels again like a design choice, and it's one I don't agree with.
I just want to say I'm really disappointed with chat not laughing at that joke in chat. My feelings are hurt.
They should be. They should be.
Just a little
Yeah.
bit. Just a little bit. Oh man. Yeah. We haven't even talked about the fucking lanyard hole. I'm just gonna pull up a picture of it quick. I don't know if I had this photo up before. No, I don't think I did.
Well, you got a picture of the crossbones. You can just show that off because it looks like the same goddamn one. It's
yeah, this whole backspacer into lanyard hole thing. I mean, it's not the worst use of material, I guess. But on this knife, it just looks weird. It doesn't feel bad in hand necessarily, but
I was gonna call it the carbon fiber bug out backspacer that I dislike for the same reason.
Well, if you look inside that knife, you can actually see that it's just an open hole. Like it's not a. It's how should I say this? It's not a hole through the backspacer like this is. Like this is closed on the inside. That you can actually see the blade through. I wouldn't be shocked if somebody dropped this knife and the backspacer ended up landing and breaking. G10's pretty strong. I don't know what it would take to break, but it just seems a little odd. And I guess, okay, maybe you needed it there for the blade to close fully, but then they do it on other designs and it doesn't need to be open, so I don't know.
Would you worry about the lanyard if you were that kind of fella?
No.
For it to be cut? No? Okay.
No, I would just use microcord to like start the lanyard and then bridge off with something a little bit thicker if I were that kind of guy. And the microcord would just stay tight, I guess. It shouldn't be a problem. I don't see it necessarily being an actual problem. It's just, from a design perspective, it's just, it kind of bugs me a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But
I was going to call it Jake's love handle, but you guys just went on a rant and ruined that for me.
That does tie back to the handjob comment. So,
oh, that's awful. Thank you.
yeah. It's the love handle.
And again, to be clear, design
when
choice.
you need
I
an
don't
extra grip, what do you do with your offhand, right? You grab the love handle.
Gotta really hold him down to keep him from running away.
Hold him down. I'm gonna talk to your fiance about this after the show.
Oh, no comment. I need another beer.
She locks the door from the outside.
Oh, God.
Keeps on trying to run away.
Oh. I appreciate your insight.
Well, you know, the more you know.
The more I know, the more I wish I didn't. Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys have any other gripes about this?
No, I think we're good. Oh, righty only. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. That still sucks. At this price
standard.
point, I would like to see like a little shield or an inlay or something. Just to, if you were going to be bitchy about it, oh, it's not symmetrical. Okay, well then add something.
The metal shields are cheap. QSB can do them on a $70 knife.
I'm just looking at this
And
photo.
this knife wouldn't look bad with a steel shield on the other side.
Dude, what if instead of shield, sorry, Paul, go ahead.
No, agreed. Go, give her.
I was just gonna say, what if they did aluminum and they anodized it the same color as the rest of the handle? Then it'd be this nice, cute little inlay. You could even put a fucking CRKT logo in it. Like, come on.
Hey,
Yeah.
one good idea is two good ideas. You're gonna ruin it. Keep your logo off of that shit. He's got 2 screw holes. Where are you gonna put the logo?
Well, you could screw it in from the backside of the handle.
That means the plate's gonna be this big. Stop giving the bad idea.
No, from the opposite side of the handle. You screw it from the inside.
Yeah, because
Welcome
that
back,
wouldn't
Justin.
drive the price up. But yeah.
Justin's
Wow.
computer is having fits.
Oh, is it? That's unfortunate.
Thanks for joining us, Justin. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Oh, you're here. Thank you. Thank you for coming
In
back.
diddly. In
Can I
diddly.
ask a question?
Yeah,
What's that?
sure.
The question I get in this picture, you can see the two screws for the pocket clip that holds the clip on,
Yes.
and obviously you can access those through that hole. Do you think they were smart enough to leave you enough room for the screw beside it to access that through? And would there be any benefit to being able to access that through? Now that
Oh, I don't think there would be any benefit.
Hopefully not. Yeah, there probably wouldn't be any benefit unless your knife was misaligned. So maybe there's a lot of benefit with a CRKT, but
Yeah.
disassembly wise, I'm hoping that those pocket screws are going all the way through to the aluminum.
yeah, they would have to
I
be,
think
right?
they
Yeah.
are. So that's the other thing. If I were a betting man, and I'm not, I'd be willing to believe that the aluminum does not have any steel plugs or anything like that. So the inlays are probably screwed down straight into the, I'm hoping, somewhat hardened aluminum. So be careful when you're tightening the inlay screws on this thing, or the clip for that matter. In this, okay, so I don't always recommend this the first time, but if you get this knife, pocket clip starts getting loose, just use thread locker. Just get medium strike thread locker. Do it. Don't think about it. Just do it, because if you strip out the aluminum here, there is sweet f all you can do to remedy it after the fact.
True facts.
Yeah.
Have we mentioned the fact that they obviously cut the pocket clip, like a pocket for the clip, and then countersunk the screws too?
Yeah.
Have we mentioned that?
We haven't yet, but we talked about it in the previous CRKT review we did last week, and
Correct.
this is a trend that is good, that needs to continue. It's good to see.
Absolutely.
Do we want to jump? Sorry, Paul.
Sorry, just absolutely. I agree with it with this rough texture as well. It gets you even more with.
And it doesn't burn the shit out of your hand is the other thing. Like, I don't know if I'm sure you guys remember, but the old cold steel texture, this has been beaten down through several years of carry through myself and somebody else, and it's not that bad now. But when this was new, it was like not painful, but like crisp as shit to the hand. The new texture that they have is much more fine. But the CRKT for me is this Jake is a nice middle ground where it's like, it's as soon as you put pressure onto it, it doesn't want to move around, but it doesn't hurt your hand to hold it there for like really give her.
The diamonds have enough surface area that they're not pokey type of grip. Yeah, so
that texture is extremely well considered. Yeah.
Do we want to consider final thoughts on a
Jacques?
Jake, and then move over to an Overland compact, and we can summarize both at the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. This stubby little son of a bitch.
Let me bring that first photo up again. Here's
I'd be lying if I said this didn't feel like something that's right up your alley, Dennis.
It wants to be.
Mini pocket rocket kind of.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of techno-y.
Yeah.
We didn't get a side-by-side on the techno, but yes, it definitely has some techno vibes.
With a vision blade.
Which is funny, because I was carrying the techno today, because I got a milled clip for it, and it's fancy.
Nice.
So what do we got for specs? Oh yeah, 8CR. That's what we got for specs.
What?
Nope, sorry, this one's D2.
Okay, good.
The first one was 8CR. I was looking at the original one versus the compact one today too. So, this one is an upgraded seal to the D2.
Yes.
$59 on their website. Because apparently they love putting really random dollar amounts, like $59 even, and $113 even on the last Jake. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the motivation is for that, but they sure like to do it.
Blade length 2.24, so 2.25. Yeah. Overalls 5.4. Weight is 3.1 ounce.
A little bit of a chonk for sure. Uh, it's a stainless steel frame lock, so there's a reason why it's a little bit of a chonk.
How
Because of
many
that weight.
inches is 6 centimeters?
2 point something.
This guy is 56 millimeters.
Okay.
So 56 mil, yeah.
Sub 6. Yeah,
Sub
almost
six.
57. Almost 57. So she's pushing. She's pushing the CBSA. No, not CBSA. Catra. Domestic flight for Canada. Yeah.
There you go.
You might be. There's not much between that
But-
blade and the. So if I nubbied that down to a little stub nose,
Make it even more
Yeah,
more
decent travel knife.
kind of mill or two off of the toe.
And
yeah,
if it gets taken, it's $60.
it's a
Yeah.
true story. It's a true story. It's not a bad idea. And there's a couple reasons why that might not be my number one choice, but it's not a bad one. They do talk about this guy disappearing in the pocket.
that might be saying it a bit strongly. It's
No.
it's a thin.
It's
carry
all
profile.
lowercase, the whole sentence. They say it like it's an everyday thing, practically disappears in a pocket right there.
Yeah,
So
into your
it's-
I hate what you've done here. Oh god. Okay, but realistically, it's a small footprint. It's not that heavy of a knife. I mean, kind of heavy for the size, but whatever. The weight's still pretty low. It carries decently well, for a stainless steel frame lock.
Again, no lefty, screw you. This is a budget enough knife, you can at least make it lefty. Like, come on.
They would have had to
Come
put-
on.
inlays into the.
No, you could have
G10.
just left a little pocket. It wouldn't have been a problem. It
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
have been a
there's
problem.
no liner on that side, so they would have had to put something in the. G10.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
A little brass, something, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inserts.
I was gonna say it's not like they haven't done it for more, other knives, but you're right. This one has full steel liners, so that's kind of not a fair comparison.
But you still get a 3. I don't care why you didn't do it. You didn't do it, ultimately.
Yeah.
Do better. Although I will say I'm not worried about this accidentally deploying in my pocket because the Teflon is brutally tight on this thing.
Okay. So here's the thing. I thought it was actually god awful. And I forget if it was Paul I was working with or
It was me.
it was Paul. Okay, because I played with the one off the shelf and the one from the box, and one of them was significantly better than the other, like about as good as my Shalotl, which again, it has no right being as nice of an action as it is on Teflon washers. This thing is actually not bad.
It was middle finger flicking like crazy.
Dude, it was like actually
Interesting.
quite nice. So there
Yeah.
is a little bit of hit and miss, but I think maybe there was some dirt caught under the detent ball or something like that, because with a little bit of adjustment, it felt like it was perfectly fine.
Because it was gross. It was super gross.
Yeah.
And
And
that
I
was my one hugest negative, other than the no lefty clip. But I'm just a picky bitch. But whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, my biggest gripe was the action on this thing sucked. And I've got a skirmish that you want to talk about action on Teflon. Dear Lord, dear Lordy.
Yes. I do think you should handle the one out of the box if we still have a second one at the shop, because it's quite nice.
I want
This-
to like this knife.
Yeah.
The disappearing in the pocket thing is crap. I don't care how light, how small you get, like whatever. Yeah, when you get that wide of a footprint, it's going to be a bit of a like pocket slab, right? Like,
Yeah. That is one
Yeah.
nice thing about carrying something like a 707 from ZT, where it's nice and narrow. You just
Yeah.
This disappears in the pocket. This carries like a freaking pen. But-
this is small enough you could watch pocket it, and then it would disappear.
Yeah.
Like it's
Absolutely is where I'd put it. This is the watch pocket.
And I think that's actually a great place for this knife. It's small, it's compact. What do you guys think about the blade grind? 'Cause
it's a Boker gnome, so I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a poker no, but
Look
I
at
think
it.
I
It's a
think they
Boker
did.
gnome.
They've done. You're not. I'm actually going to bring it up because it's a pretty funny comparison.
I mean, you can see even in this photo that it's a little uneven. But
The blade, yeah. Oh, you mean that grind? Is that what you're talking about? Well, they were scared of hitting the thumb studs. Some of us aren't scared of hitting the thumb studs, and some people are. Paul,
that's fair. That's fair.
Is it fair? That was your knife, man. Anyway,
hey, I got a shit ton of thumb studs if that guy cares, but
no, he did a replacement pair of thumb studs, and I turned it down because that knife has already seen a grinder from the original owner. So,
I will say
it's very gnomey. The handle's not, but
no.
I mean, yeah.
And the blade grind on the gnome that looks like an aggressive as shit hollow grind. Are any of your gnomes like that? Like just crazy hollow ground? This is way off topic, but
no, it's just a high polish. That's the thing. Is especially the micarta handled one and like the flat on it. They don't show it because they're trying to show off the Boker symbol here, but that is a super high polish and it looks much deeper than it actually is.
Okay, fair enough. I will say the Overland compact does come to a fairly fine edge. It's nice to see that it come down to a reasonable thickness compared to a knife I should have had ready, the Pillar 2, the Pillar Large with D2, and just thick as hell behind the edge. Like, it's a 0.5 centimeter tall bevel on this thing that I put it on like an 18-degree bevel, and it's like, yeah, it cuts okay now, but Jesus Christ, that thing's a wedge.
It cuts okay now.
Yeah. Well, a lot. It shaves, right? Like I can carve it with wood. That is not a problem. This thing, though, out of box, the grinds are fine. Yeah, the edges are a little bit wonky, like inconsistent, but at least decently sharp. I'm not 100% sure I like the thumb stud placement, but the opening action on the one out of box was so good, I almost don't care.
Fair.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of negative things to say about this knife, especially after handling the one out of the box.
Interesting. Yeah, and with D2, it's a rocking little stout little blade for sure.
There's a shot of the Teflon for people, but
I will say the original one and the whole point of the Overland is the 4x4 because of the Overland vehicle. Is it Range Rover? That has the Overland? Overlander, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it's yeah.
Overland.
Anyway.
I don't know.
That's what the name is based on, is tackling chores, outdoor, rugged, blah, blah, blah. That's what the original one was. That's what they're trying to still promote, the smaller one being in just a smaller package.
That's a little silly.
Yeah.
This would not be my first choice for an outdoor.
Like, I don't know. It's not a knife itself.
I don't know that this would be my first choice.
I think for somebody who wanted to spend this kind of money, I don't think it's a bad choice.
I'm thinking that if you have the full-sized one and you like it on bigger things and you're looking for maybe something that...
little companion knife?
Or just like something not quite as heavy, just day hike, whatever type of thing. Something small you could throw in it because you like the first one, and this one does have D2, so it's a nice little offering.
I guess if you got a Trailmaster on your hip, you don't need much more than this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or if you're just going with, again, 2, 3, 4 guys, you got an Overlander truck, you're having some food, you're having to cut some rope, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not necessarily backcountry hiking, camping, lightweighty bug out styles or whatever it is. More, I'm in a Jeep and I need something in my pocket to cut some stuff.
I got to cut some sausage.
It's not a Jeep. It's an Overlander because they're distinctly different things. But
don't you know?
Yeah, it's a bougie Jeep.
The Jeeps are already kind of bougie. But...
that's the joke.
Yeah, they are kind of a joke. Anyway, no.
I just want to touch on...
I have no strong opinions on Jeeps at all. I just know some people do.
No, same. We talked about the edge being a little bit wonky or whatever, and I think it's always good to reiterate the fact that the easiest thing for you to fix out of box is your edge. So I'm not nearly as concerned about that as I am other things. If everything else is good, a crappy edge is not a deal breaker for me.
And quick aside, Dick Richards. How's it going? Late but never. Indeed,
Hello.
indeed. What are we carrying? Anyone else who hasn't mentioned what they're carrying? I think Ben said Grampus. I don't know. No, after the Ben said Grampus. I don't know what everyone's carrying. I'm not paying attention. Other than CPM, he had a Pop Tart Praetorian.
I
He did
remember
have
that.
a pop tart.
That was good shit.
Little
Uh,
pocket.
I saw pictures. It's cute. Made me hungry. I ate a donut. It was close.
I will say,
Jose?
all else being equal, the D2 heat treatment from CRKT historically has been pretty good. I've tested every single D2 knife I've gotten from them. The heat treat has not been a problem with any of them, at least according to the Rockwell files I've got. There seems to be fine.
Give a quick shout out to Jose and CJLA in chat. What is
Hello,
up,
hello.
fellas?
Hey guys.
Yeah. And CJ has his Omnums in. Ben is carrying his Adamas
Nice.
after he fixed the clip. And Jose is looking forward to catching up at the rest of this because he just joined us at a later point, which is pretty sweet.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Good times. Good times. Overland Compact, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the move to D2. I know there's going to be a lot of guys who are going to say, oh, well, why didn't you do the D2 on the bigger knife? The only excuse I could really think of is that, okay, HCR is going to be a lot more tough than D2. Well, I say a lot more, but it's going to be reasonably more tough than D2. It's going to be, and with a longer blade, maybe you're more prone to roughhousing with it. Maybe just geometrically, it's going to be a weaker blade if you decide to roughhouse. The D2 makes more sense in a small knife, something that you can't apply the same kind of leverage on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it from that perspective. I wouldn't be totally shocked if CRKT further down the line came out with a D2 version of the full size.
You can charge a premium for it that way.
Yeah, and for the
And they'll make a blacked out
Yeah.
or a desert tan.
Oh,
It'll be some
yeah.
sort of variation of.
Exactly, they're going to milk it, and they should.
That's what I said.
Indeed,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah.
Maybe they can do an orange G10 with green spacers because they really had that lime thing figured out. So maybe
Yeah.
they could do a reverse Overlander. It's an Underlander,
Honestly, I wouldn't hate that. It would piss me off a
except
little
for
bit
the
to see
name.
it.
Change the name, CRKT. How dare you?
It's
Come
got to
on.
be the exact.
You're better
color
than that.
of, Steve Irwin's shirt from back in the day. To be the Underlander.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah, I'd be okay with that. Why not?
Yeah, I'm into it.
I gotta
Can we
say.
just-
Oh yeah.
Just a quick aside to say that Dick Richards is carrying his brand new 8010 light with a Tonto tip.
Nice.
We just stumbled across, and they didn't announce it very much, but they did a full blown 8010 Tanto. Now there's an
Nice.
S35 version coming out. I don't know if
There
that's a
is,
spoiler
absolutely.
for anyone, but anyway. So
Indeed.
I was just gonna say, this is a TJ Schwartz design.
Schwartz. No, there's a T on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I was gonna go for a Spaceballs reference there, but
No,
yeah.
shut that shit down.
It's all good. I really like his design language, having the blade edge lower than the rest of the grip for the handle, having that tilt, while not bringing the tip up so much that it's a trailing point. Because I personally am just not a fan of trailing points, with very few exceptions. But
I like TJ stuff.
It's a baby Spidey chef, I just realized.
Well, they actually
that
talk
reason.
about offset for food kind of
Yeah,
gas,
yeah,
and even the
absolutely.
full-sized one, if you look at it in a comparison, the full-sized one definitely has more of a Spidey Chef even.
Yeah.
Angular handle, it's just G10 instead of titanium even, but the full-sized one has, more design lines for that as well. So they should sue over the full-sized one, and then the Kaiser Contrail. Let's get around to that. Yeah, you two
Yeah.
should sue for this small one. I
So-
haven't forgot.
in case Dennis hasn't reminded enough people, we're running out of knife designs, and it's becoming apparent that everyone's just ripping each other off.
I'm going to instigate some lawsuits.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah.
P.S. TJ, I like your tailbone. I don't care what anyone says.
The tailbone. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, that thing's
Yeah.
cool as hell. Oh man. Okay.
I think that's. I might be misspoken. I misspoken.
Speaking
Yeah,
of a
that's
knife,
right.
if you made it in D2,
What's
I'd
that?
probably own one. If you made it that knife in D2, I'd probably own it.
It's small enough. I think it would work well in a D2 format.
Yeah.
People thought it was weird.
Yeah.
It is
I did too.
weird. That's kind of the point of the thing, though. I mean, look at this fucking thing. It flexes sideways. We're getting really off topic, but whatever. Schwartz.
Absolutely.
Goddamn.
It was.
So,
Look at that. I know things. Jesus.
yeah. What I do find interesting, I just recently watched, I think it was Zach of the Wild, who did, that was the YouTube channel for Zach. Oh, crap, I'm forgetting his last name. He was on Blade for a long time. Yeah.
No.
No, he doesn't have a beard nearly
I
as
would have
epic.
watched that one.
Yeah, dude, him interviewing anyone in our industry would be just a shit show, and I would be there for it.
Between two ferns.
Oh my god,
with knife
yeah,
guys?
fuck yeah, that'd be so niche and so weird. Anyway, no,
I'm here for it.
it's kind of funny. So with Schwartz, his whole thing. Oh no, there is no T. It is Schwartz. Anyway, it's not Schwartz.
Is
what
it
I was
really?
trying to. It is. There's no T.
There is
But
no T?
what I was gonna say is that he actually designs knives from a production standpoint first, instead of building a custom. His customs usually come later, which is weird because he only got into this industry, apparently, from his own words, due to an interaction with Ken Onion when he was in Hawaii for vacation, and they happened to be on the same island. So he's like, "Oh, well, let me hit you up." And apparently, one thing led to another. So it's just this weird backwards. I think that's how Zach put it. It's like a backwards way of getting into the knife world that most like you just don't see. So it's a really interesting take on design language.
Well, and kind of funny, they were talking about the Overland Compact on one of the only other YouTube videos out there, and I was looking at some of the other reviews and blah 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 from the major US retailers. And the one guy was talking about how he was really hot on the scene type of thing. And the CRKT guy is like, he's more like already here than he is new on the scene type thing. Been around for a little while now. But
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Finger guns. Yeah. So
Yeah. I mean,
but I think he's never been the knife of the year. Maybe, well, he was. It was the Calico. But even then, like, how many people were like, it won knife of the year at the Blade Show and the blah, blah, blah. But how many know it was a TJ Swartz design in the first place? Like, he doesn't blow up his name for his designs. Like, it's very backgroundy, and you're like, oh, yeah, I kind of like his stuff, right? So,
yeah.
I think his stuff is more varied than a lot of other designers. You look at a Ken Onion design, you know immediately it's a Ken Onion. TJ Schwartz has more variation, it seems, at least so far.
Yes and no. I will say that this Overland series that he does, very clear family lines between each model. Even the fixed blade that he does, which might actually be called the Overland. I don't know what his custom fixed blade is.
He does do a custom fixie. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And I to be clear, I actually thought initially, I'm like, man, okay, so he's asking good money for it, but not crazy. There's still apparently a lot of hand finishing he does, a lot of EDM stonework to get rid of the milling lines. He does pretty much most of his shaping on a CNC mill, which is cool. His setup actually looks somewhat similar to how my setup for my friction folders looks. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I know why you did that. That's cool. But it's just cool seeing his little one car garage shop that he works in. It's just this tiny little space. But the fixed blades are pretty similar in line to these holders, which I think is smart, because if you like the look and feel of these, but like, yeah, you know what, I want this in a larger, more durable knife, you can go and get a fixed blade from him and know that if you like this design language, you're going to like his custom, because it's going to be as good, if not better, right?
You described his factory as an Oompa Loompa working in the chocolate factory.
Dude, if you
so
watch,
cute.
if you watch,
he sings to himself. It's funny.
No, it's great. You should absolutely watch Zach of the Wild's video for it, because it's literally just this tiny little garage. He's got a CNC mill here, and he's got like a little laser engraver here, and he's got, like, it's really small. It's great. and you can tell that like he went to school for design, and it's I don't know. It's the more I learn about him and his design process, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna end up with one of your customs at some point. Like I really like his work. Um,
Very
and
nice.
I think this is a good iteration. I think this is a pretty good iteration of his work. We did talk about the pocket clip on the Jake. I may as well throw up the photo of the pocket clip here. They didn't cut corners with that either. It's countersunk. It'd be great if they did a little plate for the lefties, but
Even if they did the matching orange that's with the backspacer on this particular one, like you said with the brown, yeah.
yeah.
Don't look at me like that, Paul.
I'm not a fan of the orange. That's the only
Yeah,
one.
well, get your purple knives from Civivi. Shut the hell up.
Trying.
Oh, I actually did not take a great photo of the spine of this knife. So this is actually probably the closest we're going to be able to see of that orange, but it is just as orange as the pivot collars in the on that backspacer. I should probably go.
I think I've already complained on stream about that specific color orange and it feeling like fake copper. So I won't reiterate.
In these photos, in CRKT's photos, it looks red.
It's much, blazy than it is.
Yeah.
So, small change. The original one, I believe, was G10 backspacer. I could be wrong on that, but I thought it was.
No, it's orange. I mean, it might be G10, but it's orange.
Yeah, no, orange. But I thought maybe I could be wrong.
I think that's aluminum. That texture does look a lot like aluminum.
Okay.
On the full size.
Yeah, maybe I'm out to lunch.
Maybe.
Yeah, anodized pivot ring and backspacer. So unless they anodize G10, which I'm pretty sure that involves melting. But
yeah, and fire.
Look, I anodized it. Ta-da!
Oh God, you burned it all down, you maniac!
I followed the instructions and everything.
I don't know what that word means, but you think it means.
So you're giving me flashbacks of watching over first years at college, but anyway.
Why isn't this G10 purple? I anodized it the right color and everything.
Oh God.
Go on.
I don't know. I think
we were talking about the clip and this countersunk, and again, CRKT following into suit on that. Yeah, so it's funny, finally. They were definitely being bitched at for some of that stuff over the last couple of years, and they've started to listen to some of the feedback and do some countersinking like that, and not just cheaping out on screws and stuff, right? Yeah. But it's funny how resistant they were to the D2 train compared to the 8CR train, and still somewhat are.
Yeah.
So they're listening to smaller details, but they're like, I don't think this other one we like, and very much feedback at all.
To be devil's advocate, fair to CRKT, it would be nice to see. I know. I'm already feeling kind of gross. I have to take another drink just to get that taste out of my mouth. And Pilsner is preferred.
Being nice to CRKT, but I mean, we all know what your daily carry was today.
Well, I like CRKT.
Traitor.
In spite of CRKT's. Hey, my military and S110 is in my back pocket, so that's okay. But it is expensive to have like a higher end version of a knife and then a cheaper version of the knife for like every model in your catalog. Like they can't do that for everything. They did it for some models and they did them as limited runs, and that's cool. But you're right, the 8CR train is tired. I don't hate on it quite as much as I used to, but they should transition to something a bit better in terms of wear resistance, even if that means
even a Nitro V, or like there's options out there that they could play with.
Yeah. And
that seem to be in the same price point.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing that kind of pisses me off a little bit about it. Is like 8CR doesn't really have great edge retention, right? And yes, their argument for years has been, well, we sell to, and not that they've out now said this, but their marketing and the product lineup has definitely said this. We are selling to the casual knife user, not a guy who's collecting, but to somebody who might want a designer knife, but is going to be using, that's going to be his knife, and he uses it for work, and it's just a tool to him, and that's the end of that thought.
And
Sure.
3 years into owning it, he'll be like, I think my knife's getting dull.
Yeah,
That's the kind of guy that they're looking for.
Exactly. And yes, it makes sense to use something like 8CR for that kind of thing, but there are other steels that have better edge retention that are similarly priced, and they're just about as durable, if not as durable, as 8CR. So I feel like that move should be made sooner than later, given the price points. That's the big thing.
Yeah, agreed.
I know we've talked about this a lot, but it's just becoming more and more apparent as time goes on, where you have to deal with bullshit like 4116 stainless in knives that cost $120.
Well,
like,
or 4034 or whatever type of, yeah.
Yeah, it's not great. I think D2 is a great inclusion, and I think 8CR has its place. But you gotta price that stuff accordingly. And
yeah, me too. But I don't have a garbage can in this room, so
yeah,
can't make my point on that one.
I suppose not.
Indeed.
I think that might wrap us up for the Overlander, unless you guys have some last minute thoughts. Oh fuck, there's a lanyard hole. It's okay. It doesn't interfere with the clip much, so I'm okay with that.
No, yeah, it's fine. You can just chop off your lanyard every single time you close it. They just put it down like a centimeter or two. You're fine.
Look, it's lanyard intervention is what that is.
Exactly.
I thought the lanyard hole was closed. I thought the space.
They plugged it.
No. Like it's a tube, not that it's like plugged. Jesus, but
that's better.
That's fucking.
Make
funny.
one and then fill it with an orange aluminum.
I hate that so much.
You should.
Yeah.
You really should.
There we go. There's a decent close up. Yeah, it's closed. You could put a lanyard in there. It's not gonna.
Yeah, of course it is. Why are we looking at this for real? Jesus Christ.
Well, I needed to know because you made it all. You made it a thing.
Okay, I just want to touch on one thing real quick because you just highlighted it with this photo. Oh. I hate with a fiery passion when the lock bar gap is all gappy like.
I agree. However, the thing that bothers me more than the fact that gap is that wide is that the gap at the top of the engagement area where it hits the tang of the blade is not. So it's like, you're telling me you could have just had a nice thin line all the way down, and instead you decided to drop a drill bit and then an end mill in there to open it right the fuck. Why did you do that?
Yeah, why do you hate us so?
Now, that being said, does this thing have a lock bar stabilizer? I
think it's the pocket clip.
I don't think the pocket clip comes over far enough to stop it from doing much of anything, to be honest. I don't remember if I didn't take any photos down the open handle. Oh, very small aside, but this thing has 2 stop pins. I'm not a huge fan of when knife designs utilize 2 stop pins. I don't know why. I think it's just a aesthetic thing. It works fine. It works absolutely fine. It's a little weird to me. But I don't know if this thing actually has a lock stabilizer or not. I don't think it does.
Look, maybe the pocket clip doesn't do the job, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was their intention.
Yeah, I suppose.
And they just got it wrong. If they had cut that bar a little bit narrower, it would have been fine.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the Overland Compact.
I wanted to ask a question before, but I didn't want to detract from the review. So I want to get our final thoughts on this guy, if we have anything else. And then I have a question for you before we move on to other things, Joe.
Okay. But final thoughts first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I want to finish this, and then I'm going to take you away from this.
Okay.
And I just want to put it out there because I'm going to
Um,
forget if I don't say it.
I think as far as CRKT's offerings available today, I don't know that I would necessarily call this a standout model. The entire brand as a whole seems to be improving slowly over time, which I'm happy to say.
Yeah.
But if this was available like 6 or 7 years ago with the lineup they had then, this would have just kicked the shit out of most else of what they had available at the time. And I like a lot of what they had available at the time.
There wouldn't be a squid if this thing existed, type of thing.
I like this a lot more than the squid, and not just
The
because of the
original
XM
squid,
bullshit.
at least, right? Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
don't even start
Yeah.
besmirching XMs on this channel.
That's fair.
You
That's fair.
asshole.
How dare you.
I'm generally not a fan of like super tiny knives, and to me, this isn't quite super tiny, but I could still see myself carrying this as like a little backup blade or tuck it in the backpack or something. Like this is, it's
Just a quick
reasonable.
shout out
Yeah.
to Brian Mooney in chat. Woo.
Woo.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Woo,
I-
you say?
I think this is a good
Woo.
purchase. I think this is a good gift knife. I think this is something you would enjoy if you want like these materials and this kind of a small package. It's well executed. Unless you're a lefty, in which case you either have to be okay with carrying it back left pocket or something like that. I don't know.
In which case, get fucked.
That's what CRKT's been saying for years, right?
Well, I mean, to most of its client base, but that's more of a commentary for a later date, I think. At this point.
That's fair. Hey, I still haven't gotten an email back about those springs, so I mean, I'm not salty, not at all. I haven't been a loyal customer for years.
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong. Anyway,
Wolf.
I won't. Anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, Dennis, final thoughts. Overland compact. What do you think?
I like it. It's not an insane amount of money. It's a small knife, so it's not a cheap amount of money either. If this was looking at a Chinese up and coming brand, this would be a $50 knife. CAD.
Yeah.
Not a $56 knife American, right? But yeah. CRKT's got to figure it out, and at least they're jumping on that train. Now they can work on price points and come down, but I don't think they need to necessarily because Benchmade still charges $200 for D2 and get us away with it. So, I mean,
I was going to say it wasn't that long ago that they would have charged over $100 for this because it was D2.
yeah.
I was gonna say that CPM D2. Thank you very much. Yeah, you really paying for that. Yeah,
depends on whether it was designed by Ken Onion or not. But yeah, it's like the Jake, for instance. That's got a hell of a price point. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Yeah, I think overall thoughts on both. I think if I were to grade this knife, I would grade it one Mercedes Unimog. Because if you don't know what an Unimog is, Unimog, maybe?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Not a
friend.
clue.
It's probably the most insane overland vehicle that's out there. UNIMOG, just to throw it out there. Don't deep sight me, Joe.
I'm certain. I have to look it up now. So,
I heard it.
okay, it's like an ATV truck Jeep.
Oh yeah, okay. I've seen this thing.
Most people have.
Yeah.
If you want to go survive the zombie apocalypse, or
That would be a
nuclear
good
fallout.
zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's not compact. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Did they make a mini?
But it's compact for a camper.
They do, in fact, make a mini.
Oh god.
See, I voted one of those.
Oh my god, it's just a cabinet and like a bed, and that's it. And it's barely those things. That is
Oh, that's
adorable.
adorable. That's the cutest little pickup truck.
Dude,
I
it
love
reminds me of those little Japanese pickup trucks you see little
Yeah.
Japanese guys driving in movies, and they're like, oh
Well,
man, you
Zuzu?
can fit that.
Oh, that's an old. I'm pretty sure you can't find a 2023 model of those.
Oh, probably
Oh, but
not.
I want one of these.
I To be fair,
So
I
now
also...
I want one more. Actually, this is more of an appropriate scoring for the CRKT model than the
Absolutely.
actual.
Is it weird that I want to give it a hug?
Oh,
No, but anyone who drives it, I mean, I probably wouldn't hug them.
smell of lentils and toothpaste. Anyway,
Oh,
Paul,
Smells
final thoughts.
I don't know if I
either.
can beat this. I'm going to be honest. This kind of trumps it.
Yeah.
It's
Is it worth an Unimog? Is it worth a mini Unimog?
it's worth one log.
Well,
Better than bad. It's good.
I was gonna say it's better than bad. It's good. That's Paul's rating.
It's log. It's log.
It ain't big and heavy, and she ain't wood.
That's okay. Oh man.
I know what I'm getting Paul for his birthday.
Outlawed.
It's gonna be all camping season. We're like, here, Paul, it's your birthday.
Happy
Throw a
birthday.
piece of wood at you. It's right before I beat you with a log piece of kindling.
Did we rate the Jake? I don't know if we did.
Not yet. No, we were gonna come back to the Jake. I was gonna let you guys think about the Jake and what you wanted to score it while we ranted about the Overland Compact.
Definitely can't do any better than a mini mog because
a mini mog.
that's what they're calling them here, mini mog. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, from now on, this knife is the mini mog.
The mini mog.
The mini mog.
There's even like green versions of it that you put up on the screen that were like very similar too. Yeah,
it's not bad. It's
adorable. Maybe that's where he got his inspiration.
Well,
no, he literally. Well, I mean, he named it after Overland, so I wouldn't be shocked. Sorry, Paul. What was that?
It's got pivot collars.
I said you can't convince me that these are real trucks. I'm convinced they're all toys.
Well, I hate it because the wheel wells on this thing are the same color as the pivot collars, and the green is about the same color as the G10. So yeah, it's a Minimog. I can't rate it any better than that.
It is the Minimog.
The Jake.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Don't thank me, thank TJ.
Thank you, TJ. Thank you, Dennis.
I hope he drives away in one as he's waving.
He's got at least one, I'm sure. The Jake, though, I will give it a 0.75 out of a blur because it's almost a blur, except the blur costs less money and has better blade steel. Yeah. I'm sorry. If you're going to give me the choice between a Ken design using either 12C or 14C Sandvik, I've just had better experiences with 14C over the years.
And neither one of them have an actual D10.
No, neither of them do. That's why it's still a 0.75 instead of a 0.6.
Oh my god, that's the best thing I've heard today. It's great.
Yeah.
If by great you mean awful. Anyway, it's still a nice knife, but
it's a fantastic knife. Just figure your D10s out, you sons of bitches. Like, seriously.
Yeah. Make that D10 feel like it's worth the price, because Jesus, guys.
What are you rating it, Paul?
I'm gonna give it 6 steaks.
6 steaks? As in, like, what kind of steaks? You have to specify. You can't come at me with that shit.
Snakes.
Oh, snakes.
Yeah.
Like a Matrix?
Jake,
like a snake in the grass? Are you starting shit with Microtech again?
No.
No.
I'll be right back.
Oh, Jake the Snake. Gotcha.
Jake the Snake.
Gotcha.
I'm actually gonna
He's got one hell of a python. 42-inch pythons, to be exact.
There's some big pythons, goddamn. Bye, Joe.
Joe left. Joe legitimately left.
Just left the chat.
He's like, I am too young to get any of these references. Just going away now. I'm just going away.
It would have gotten more than 6 if it didn't cost so much.
Well, that's half of the 12C27 that it gets. So
There you
it's
go.
like, a snake every 2Cs.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's almost
Yeah.
Shabazzi's ratio.
Should I? Oh, Joe's back. I was gonna say,
Welcome
should I
back.
wait for Joe to be back for me to give it a rating? But he's back
Yeah.
already. So yeah. I'm pretty
Go for
sure. What?
Oh, I just said go for it. Sorry.
Oh, go for it. I thought you were about to say before you. I was
Oh,
like,
no,
before
no.
you score it. I was like, oh, okay, fine. Say what you're gonna say, asshole.
I ain't got shit except Saskatchewan champagne.
I'm pretty sure that I am going to rate this bad boy 1 baguette.
Out of.
It's not a measurement.
Okay. One
That's just
baguette.
That's the
that's what you
scoring.
would that's what you would
Sure.
trade it for. Okay.
Yeah, that's the score chart. Is 1 baguette.
All right.
It's an open-ended scoring. I don't
need-
know what max baguette is.
Okay. You're gonna
Yeah,
give me an aneurysm here.
I was gonna say we're getting increasingly esoteric each week with Dennis's random ratings.
Look.
It's the Jacques.
Eventually, he
There you go.
Eventually,
It's the
you-
jock. Okay. Yeah. That's full circle.
Aw,
There
yeah.
it is. All right.
I was gonna say
What
eventually
happens-
you're gonna say something.
Is
You're
it
gonna give
fresh bread? Not by the time it gets to us.
with how mushy that detent is. You don't believe that baguette's not just as
That
mushy.
is 3-day-old baguette at the best of times.
I got left in the rain.
Depending on the bakery, I might be okay with that. But
It being left in the rain.
no, just 3 days old. It's not left in the rain. Fuck that shit.
Mushy baguette. I tell you.
That sounds like a euphemism for something much worse.
Yeah, it sure does. The thing that I was going to say about that, though, was that Dennis is getting closer and closer to the actual scoring system that Fisk came up with. The more esoteric it gets,
Oh no, I'm there. I'm there. I've got it.
that's what I'm
He's
saying.
he's in the pocket.
Yeah. You can't do it spur of the moment. It's hard to do it live on stream. I'm getting better at it, but that's why I had to come back to the Jacques. Took me a
Yeah.
while to come up with that baguette shit.
That was fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna think about that days later.
The
Chocolate to
Overland.
myself
I
and
only
then
knew
cry.
about the big one. The mini one. I mean, you're welcome. We discovered that together. It's
Fair,
That was
fair.
fantastic though, and I honestly don't know what else I would rate it because that's too perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
Can you just
So-
put up one TJ Schwartz custom photo? Just because I don't
Oh,
know what they look
the
like.
fixed blade. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think
That was the
all.
thing I
Or
wanted to get to the
yeah.
end of before.
because it's a good looking knife. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
It's how I've talked about the 8010, and if they made the fixed bladed version of an 8010 and made a production version, I'd probably buy it. I think this is the same thing, where if they made the Overland compact just a fixed blade in
So-
SK5,
talk about a good deal. MagnaCut is what he's making his Overlands in right now. You get your choice of handle material G10 in a variety of wonderful colors. You get canvas micarta in either black or green, which is nice. Handle screws, you can choose between black oxide or stainless. Screw collars, you can have brass or stainless or black oxide. Blade finish, you can choose between Cerakoting in black or coyote for plus $15, or just leave it in stonewash, which I actually really like his stonewash finish. I would just go with that.
and for the record, the $295 you get a vinyl sticker. That's
Yes. You also get a sheath, I believe.
not a knife you're designing right now. You all think it
Unfortunately-
is.
Unfortunately,
duped.
it is for right-handed carry only. So you'd have to. Now that being said,
What's the loop? What's the belt loop?
it looks like it's a little loop over J clip. Is that the right name for that style of clip? I'm pretty sure that you could actually drill and tap holes on the opposite side.
100%, and you could use the holes
Yeah.
from the other side to just drill straight through, so it was aligned. It would be so easy to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
So
And then
this isn't a small knife either. It's a 3.8-inch blade. This
I
is
like
cool
that.
shit. This
I
is
really
a
like
great. That's a
that.
great price for a custom fixed blade, and honestly, the design on it.
and a small
kinda
little
hot.
belt in Magna.
That right there looks like an awesome camp kitchen knife. Quite honestly.
Yeah, food prep, because everything
Yep.
else you're doing with your saw or your hatchet, and you're doing food prep for the most part for
And
What
if you
you're doing
had,
with your little belt knife? Yeah,
and if
you
you
bet,
had
dude.
to beat on it, it's MagnaCut, so it's tough enough. It should be able to take it.
And stain resistance if you forget it next to the fire because
Yep.
you fall asleep drunk with a bottle of meat in your hands. It's not
Why
your
are you
fault.
calling me out?
Oh, I think we're calling everyone that's ever been camping with any of us out.
All of us at the same time, even.
No, one of us is all usually pretty good. There's
Okay.
usually one sober dude in the bunch, or soberer.
More sober, someone to watch over the others, only out of guilt, just because if someone's eaten by bears,
No, it's just because they got drunk
I don't know,
last
I've
night.
never
And
been
they
that
had an
guy.
off night, so they're taking it easy tonight.
That's fair.
Guaranteed, we alternate those nights throughout the group.
Yeah.
What do
Anyway,
you mean a pint of vodka is not good for you?
that's the Overland. It's fucking cool. I think that as far as MagnaCut fixed blade options go in this size range, hell yeah. This
It's
is
something
neat.
super different too. That's cool as hell.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys have another topic, but before we get on that, I'll finish you bullshit. If not, government mandated break has got to happen. So,
All right.
So that aside thing was this, for the record.
Oh, okay, cool. I was gonna ask, like, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, but cool. That works.
Absolutely.
side thing, I'm confused.
Oh, the thing that Paul wanted to bring up earlier was the fixed blade Overlander
Ah,
or Overland.
gotcha. Okay.
I keep
Okay.
calling it the Overlander, but no.
I do have a topic if we're looking for one for the last few minutes of the night.
Yeah, be back in 2
From
minutes.
last week.
Okay. Yeah. Is there something small, a little bit more inconsequential we could do before Dennis gets back, or do you want to maybe talk about any of the? Maybe we'll respond to some comments if there's any. No, it's just people talking about the jokes. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, go ahead, ruin it. I'm not sure what we're ruining.
Oh well.
Unimog body kit, I think maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
So MagnaCut prices have not been coming down lately. I've been keeping an eye on the precision build stuff I can buy.
Yeah.
It's still very pricey.
That is fair.
To be clear, very pricey for me just means 20% more expensive than 20 CV for the same volume. So
Something to work up to maybe in the future, but not available to you right now.
yeah, pretty much. I think if I do get any, it's gonna have to be for a fixed blade.
Be a good option.
Yeah, it makes sense for a folder, I guess, if you were gonna be rough with it, but
I am very curious how it takes a thin fine edge in a Skaha.
well, and you gotta figure because Laren is more of a knife, more of a kitchen knife guy, so
Yeah.
you gotta figure it's gotta work really well at a super fine edge. Speaking of which, I actually don't know. Oh wow, okay, so he's doing 62 to 63 for
Very
the Overland.
nice.
Blade
I'm into
thickness 0.14 inches. Why am I? Oh, he's got his thickness behind the edge measurement. That's awesome.
Nice.
Oh, 0.012. What is that, sir? Let's do 0.013 for an average. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So the Spyderco Native 5 is roughly 0.3 millimeters behind the edge. At least I believe mine was. Native
which?
5 NS. The Native 5
Okay.
NS90. So if you're familiar with that and how thin of an edge that can be, this is approaching that. And for a MagnaCut fixed blade, I think that's there's that knife. I think that's a great choice. Man, that tells you something about his precision, though, that he's willing to give those specs out between 0.012 and 0.014 inches behind the edge. Good for you, dude. Shit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of makers, they're basically, it's like, oh yeah, I know, well, I use the blade stock that's available, and you get the edge that you get, kind of thing.
Yeah.
What type of grind do you do? Hollow. Oh, what can you tell me about thickness? I can't. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't measure it.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, that's enough filler topic. Dennis is back. You had something to round us out with, Paul.
It was just small and little. It's. I sent you some photos last week
Oh yeah. I don't know if I saved them.
That's funny.
um,
That
I mean,
guy's a dick.
I don't think I deleted the email for the record. It's just I don't know if I actually saved the photos to my computer that day. What would that have been? Would that have been the 6th?
7 days ago, so
Oh, the
5th or
5th.
6th. Yeah.
I didn't save them to my computer underneath my photos for Paul's pictures, but I probably have the email right here. Let me bring that up.
I think it's titled topic.
Topic, you say?
Because I had
Thank
topic,
you.
and then I had comparison photos, and then I had my carry photo last week.
Sunday on the 5th.
And I just keep on flashing my 31 on and off just in case Fisk joins the chat, that he can just stay the hell out.
For a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Know your role.
Oh shit.
Was it maybe from the week before? Because if I'm all I'm seeing is one from today from 7:08. There's one from the Sunday, that was the Dextro, and then there was your carry for that day. But there's nothing else.
No, there was another one there that was titled.
Yeah, he deleted that one too. Sweet.
Well, no, that's weird because I normally don't. I got Dennis's for that day, which was the
we talked about stuff, didn't we?
The Beirut, so the larger,
the basic 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, thank you. That's weird.
That's
I'm actually not seeing another email from you.
So here's a question for you: $2.95 American for an Overland in Magna Cut. Would you get a basic in Magna Cut, or would you get an Overland in Magna Cut?
Oh.
Paul's not paying attention because he's zoned out on emails.
I think I'd get the Overland.
Yeah.
I think I'd get the Overland.
You think so? Do you?
I only because
I sent it to you now.
Thank you. So it wasn't sent before? Okay.
It was sent, but apparently I don't even know how because I didn't have that email in my phone. But I apparently sent it to sales@Northarm.
Oh no! Shit.
Nice. Okay. They hate you already. They haven't even made your knife yet. They're already pissed off at you.
I can mention now, but I got 2 months, and I should be picking out my choices for my Skaha.
I'm sorry, Paul. There's no subject and there's no content to it either.
Attachment?
It's completely empty.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, I'm glad we're rounding up this episode on such a high point. Oh, we just went from 8 watching to 6 watching. I wonder if Fisk and one of his friends left.
What about that one?
You think Fisk has friends?
I can see the photos myself in that email.
Sorry.
He's people that like to call him friends.
That's fair.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, it's all good. I'm just rapidly hitting refresh until it arrives.
I was just going to throw out the fact that CRKT's got a new up-and-coming knife.
So
we were on CRKT training.
Yeah,
we can do that. Yeah.
Well, while you're waiting, but
yeah.
Which one are we talking about?
The Bugsy.
Yeah, we're talking about the Bugsy. Let's talk about the one that's actually worth looking at, shall we?
Is that not the black one?
It's not the black one.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Well, I had to make sure. You're weird.
Do you like? Dude, I was the one who told you about this knife when I saw the article.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. There's 2 versions to choose from.
Why do you think I would choose the half serrated VEF one? Come on now. Why would you think that of me?
A little bit.
Little sussy.
A little Kayla Cummings design.
Well, it's a K-pop.
Hey, yeah, a little bit.
There you go.
Manufactured by who? Although it doesn't say on the website.
Topsy Turvy.
Yeah.
That's kind of
fucking cool.
It's a
$10.95 made in America.
That's
for $2 American.
America. Yeah. How come you can do this one for $2 American?
Because
Made in the
1095 is extremely cheap. I don't think I can undersell 1095 enough. As
Yeah,
far
but
as
Tom
costs.
already uses everything and does everything in 1095.
Yes,
No,
I'm not saying the 1095 is overpriced. I'm just saying the 1095 is extremely overpriced. I like it as a material.
I agree with you.
The purchase price for 1095 is extraordinarily low compared to a lot of other high carbon steels you can get.
Now, to my understanding, thickness actually comes into play quite a bit. And when you're working with things like an SE5 or a Tom Brown at full blown Tomminess.
The reason why tops, well, okay, not the only reason, but one reason why tops can be so expensive is because, if I recall correctly, they actually precision mill all of their stock to a known thickness. They don't buy it precision made from someone else. They go to the effort of actually doing that themselves. Because of that takes a lot of time and energy. Makes sense.
I wouldn't be surprised if that policy changed recently just because of availability.
Yeah, it's been kind of a shit show as far as...
and full-size trackers haven't been available when other ones have, so that tells me that stock thickness has been an issue.
Getting it in a thick enough billet to...
The chikonky conks. Yeah. Either that or you're making storm vectors.
Whatever sells, man. Whatever sells.
I'm not making a face at Storm Vectors. I'm making a face at Dennis's
Chikonky Kong.
Donkey Kongs, yeah.
It's great. I don't know what you're talking about. Also, I got your.
You know a couple Chikonky Kongs. Come on.
One or two.
I think I got one lying around here somewhere. Anyway.
Yeah.
Everyone does. That's
well, everyone should. Come on now.
We're still talking about knives, right?
Anyway, Paul, your pictures have arrived.
Hey,
so I'll throw one of them up right here.
So if you don't know Kayla Cummings, go check her out. It's cool.
Oh,
she's a survivalist, knife maker. She's done cool stuff. She seems like pretty chill. It's good to see her getting this is second production knife. She did a folder with Kaiser Artisan Best Tech. Someone, I think it's Savivi, actually.
Okay.
No, that's wrong. I don't think it is. I don't know.
Model.
Apparently she's done 3 different models, at least.
Don't worry about it.
Oh wait, some of those might be customs. One of them certainly isn't, but I don't know about the other 2.
She's got a folder. The only one's a folder.
Well, she's got, apparently this bottom one is someone's got a. Anyway.
Continue on.
The fixed blade looks kind of hot, and I'm looking forward to getting it in hand if we ever get them because it looks nice.
Indeed.
But Paul sent me some pictures. Here's one of them.
Indeed.
But bam.
He sent them last week. Joe, get with the times. God.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure I did send them last week. I think Joe's deleted them.
Joe.
I don't delete shit. I am a digital hoarder, my friend. I have over 10,000 emails that have no use.
He's got a thin hallway down the entire length of his digital house that he can creep through.
We'll do a better job of illustrating my point, if I'm being honest here.
Sorry, what will?
The other photos.
Oh, okay.
So this is a conspirator and a rook knife.
Yes.
Yes.
I am looking at the clips. I'm looking at the screws and hole patterns, placements, things of that nature.
Oh, okay.
I see. Are you looking at whether they're milled properly to fit a Wii milled clip?
Maybe.
What's the second picture you have to offer us there, Paul?
No, that's exactly what I'm asking is, do you think that these screws are the same so that I could potentially get
what you need to do, because that I believe is Associates conspirator.
Yes. I just wasn't going to ask him to take his clip off his knife to see if it fit mine.
Why not?
Oh, it felt rude.
You got some downtime. Hey, do you mind popping your clip off? I just want to see if the holes line up.
Yeah, and I might absolutely do that. But I figured it'd be fun to have the conversation with you guys as well. Of, do you think it'll fit? And
oh, dude, I don't even know.
It's only like $15.
So
to put a titanium clip on this thing, maybe.
So the real question is, is can you tap the left-hand side and put it on that side, and then it doesn't matter where you put the holes.
See, it would because
That's not a question. I'm just bitching now. It's
we know.
It's
they
started
milled
as
a
a
pocket
question.
in this thing. That first photo that Joe had up actually shows they milled a pocket into the slab to make it fit.
Yes.
So you've got one hand in your pocket?
Okay, so because
Yes.
of that milled slab, I don't know. That's kind of
Yeah.
dicey. Okay, so the spacing is weird just because of the way the CVV clip like it comes forward of the screws and then loops versus this basically right at the root right
But
after the
the
screw comes
milled
up.
clip doesn't necessarily come back all the way like that.
Oh, I suppose it just comes straight down, doesn't it?
Potentially.
It won't be as deep of a carry though, will it?
No. But I carry it in my fifth pocket
Okay.
anyways.
Okay.
So the biggest thing here is that your Rook has shitty dome screws that we can't see how big the hole spacing is, and on the CVV we can. So
Yeah, I was trying to measure.
riddle me that, Batman.
I was using actually my carry today as a measuring stick, and putting the tip of the knife right next to the center of the screw on the Rook, my thumb right next to the center of the hole, and then raising it up. Dude, that is borderline. I think actually the spacing for the Rooks is a little bit wider, but that could be because of the parallax from the camera that you used to take this photo. So dude, it's within like a millimeter.
I think you should just put a CRKT EB screw clip on it and be done with it.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope bad things happen to you.
That's not new, Paul. Come up with new things.
That's fair. You know what? Even if we eat corn the long way, how about that?
Oh.
Yeah, think about that one.
No, I'm just gonna stay right back here and just
Yeah, well.
Sorry,
Story
I
about
heard
a ping
that
pong
recently.
paddle.
It makes me very, very funny.
well.
Good night, folks.
Justin's telling you to go get a screwdriver. He doesn't have those knives with him. It's this knife. It'd be hard for him to
Joe, you heard him.
go get a screwdriver.
Well, funny thing about that is I actually have a bit driver with a T6 in it. Right
That's
here.
the wrong screwdriver. He said go get a screw. He said go.
I went. I got.
If it's not going to get a screwdriver, it doesn't count.
All right.
That was
fine.
the extent of my question. I wonder if it'll fit. If it's worth asking, I might actually ask. Alex.
Yeah, it's borderline, dude. It's really
so.
fucking
There's only
borderline.
going to be a matter of time before we order the clips in anyway, and you can probably just find out for yourself. Because as of I don't know, recently we might as well finish with this. Benchmade has become an official We and Civivi dealer, coming soon, etc., etc.
Yeah,
Watch that.
You heard that too, eh?
I did.
Benchmade is not an official dealer of CVV and weed knives.
Benchmade?
But the cutting edges.
You said.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Benchmade is now selling me in Civivi. It's
Thinking about
makes
Benchmade
sense.
clips.
that's slanderous misinformation. Don't trust me on any of the words I just said. Jesus Christ. Really? Okay, yeah.
The
No,
cutting edge
Let's
is
try cutting
indeed
edge.
going to be carrying some more CVV and weed knives, which is exciting.
Official dealers. Yeah. We
Yeah.
Civivi. Coming soon.
Finally, god damn. Also, hooray!
So, big things. 2023 is going to be big this year for us.
Oh, yeah. Exciting.
On that note, Shabazz recently did a review on the Vision, was bitching about the soft detent the entire time. I think I could fix it. I
That's what you said about the smock.
I just need a stronger spring. to put into.
That's also what he said about the smock. It's weird.
Yeah, and I fixed it, and now it's great, and it's perfect, and I wish nothing more. I did exactly what I wanted to, and I don't regret my actions at all.
That's not what you said last time.
Yeah, you see how I'm putting on this facade of just smiling my way through it.
What's
Smiling through the pain.
What's like a slow clap, but not actually giving him any applaud?
Just staring blankly.
Just
probably.
that's what I want to give you right now. It's,
Well,
He wants to give it to you, Joe.
without the applause. What, you don't have applause after you're done? Man, you're doing it wrong.
Oh my god. I don't stream.
Round of applause for the participants.
I don't stream my outings. Anyway.
Outings.
Or my innings.
You say that like there needs to be an audience.
For there to be applause, Jesus Christ.
Again, you're doing it wrong.
Oh my god. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here.
I don't want to be in the room, but I want Joe to just break out into applause the next time and really confuse his fiance.
Just stand up.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'd appreciate that. Yeah.
And then
Hold up, a
you
10 out
could
of 10
say it's a
sign.
standing O, and then it's twice as funny.
There you go.
That's okay. That's actually not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to redeem myself after that debacle.
Yeah. That's much better.
Oh, that's a great name for a sex move.
Yeah. It
Standing
already.
O.
Standing O.
Yep.
Just wave and smile. If you're standing up.
It just writes itself. Yeah, it's perfect.
Mm.
All right, gentlemen.
Holy hell! What a way to end it.
Go
yeah.
follow us on Instagram. Do it. We had 3 more people this week.
That's okay, because we're losing YouTube followers like they're candy. We lost another one.
This is where we actually stream, so that makes sense.
Oh,
This is where they actually hear us instead of the facade that we put on social media.
Yeah.
It's not that good of a facade.
we almost seem. Like
Although
we have
if we don't put up a picture with 2 pictures and one with a Unimog Mini and an Overland Compact this week, we're doing our jobs wrong. Honestly, on Instagram, that should need to happen.
We probably
All right.
should. We've had a dry
It's-
spell for long enough. This is a great way to,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll find a stock photo that's worth being picture number
Stock
2.
photo
for
of
sure.
each, and I will go into my collage creator, and I will take 3 minutes and I'll make a collage.
Excellent. Do it.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you again to everyone who joined us. Thank you again to the Cutting Edge for becoming official dealers for We and Civivi, but also for being official dealers for CRKT and getting some of the new 2023 stuff. To my knowledge, we may or may not be the only first impressions overview of the CRKT Jake on.
Which is weird because all of the negative things I had to say felt like nitpicks. Like, how was nobody else talking about this thing? It's kind of cool. Anyway,
True facts.
thank you, Cutting Edge. It's fantastic.
We already got Instagram, Patreon. Thank you. All the subscribers coming back to you. December 2023. Tis the season. Tis the year.
Yep.
We're here.
We're getting there.
That means we actually have to do something.
We should probably start doing some planning.
Good Lord. Yeah.
If we started now, we'll probably be ready by Christmas.
We might have things ready in time. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I hope so. God,
I
hope so.
believe back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
I think so. I
Yeah.
will put up a community post. If not, there may be some BS I have to deal with, but I'm pretty sure we're good to go. I'm 90% sure we're good to go.
Okay. Noted.
All right, guys. All right. New reviews probably coming down the pipe again next week. We shall see. We shall see. Having said that, thanks again for joining us. We will see you all again here next Sunday. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Fibers.
I am the Iron Joe.
And I'm xl.ca.
Thanks again for joining us, guys. See you next week. Probably.
Dagger.
These are my finger guns.
Dagger, dagger.